I mean, I had the impulse to go into tarot 30 whatever years ago. Of course, my parents, everybody thought I was crazy. You know, I gave away my Ph.D. career. I blew it up as a professor to become a tarot reader. That is the stupidest thing a person could do. You know, like, why would you ever, after all those years of education, all that kind of stuff, do that? And I told my dad and my mom, I said, it just felt good. It felt, that's not a good reason. You know, intuition will tell you what, but not why. That's why we don't follow it sometimes. But if you get that impulse, and if you're in a state of balance, you're not crazed, way up or way down. If you're in a state of balance and you get a very strong impulse, you feel it, you see it, you hear it, you know it, then just do it. And if that impulse doesn't work out, fine. It'll take you to the next wave and the next thing. And you make mistakes all the time, but the quicker you make mistakes, the quicker you get to success. You know, I used to be a professor of political science, and at one point I said, this is it. I knew there was more. And so I did my trip to India, and I got on the spiritual path, and that led me to get out of that academic career. But that was many, many years ago. But I really want to go back to 5 years ago, when I was 65, thinking I was going to retire, but that was impossible. So it was a time to, when I say refire, if you will. And I was pretty depressed, honestly. I was pretty despondent. I figured I was losing it. So in that moment of desperation, the gift of desperation, I said, you know, I'm going to write a letter to this legendary, mythic green man archetype, this character of old. And so I sat down and I just, on my laptop, wrote, "Dear Green Man," not knowing what was going to come out of it. Wrote the letter, "Dear Green Man, can you help me? Help me renew my life, regenerate myself, and evergreen myself, essentially." And so I wrote the letter, and within seconds, really, all of a sudden, I just started downloading, I suppose, these thoughts and this verbiage from this green man, whoever and wherever he is, this archetype. And all of a sudden, I got this, it coming through me, said, "James, the first thing you need to do is, number one, I can help you." I thought, okay. And then it said, "But you must do what I tell you to do." I thought, wow, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of like my coach. When work brings you alive, that is you got it. That's God kind of in the workplace, I think, right alive. That's the key. And so a lot of people say, "Well, I don't know what that is." I said, "Well, what do you feel? What would you love?" And jump in, revolution, you know? And he said, "I want you to go for a walk in nature." I said, "Oh, okay, I'll do that." And that just started this whole journey of really allowing this green man energy, the energy of nature, Father Nature, if you will, come through me. And he's been giving me, for the last 5 years, an incredible variety of exercises and processes to regenerate myself. So it's been an incredible adventure. And when you're inspired, you're going to live your, what I call apotheosis, which is living the highest expression you could possibly be in this lifetime. The green man says, "I want to see what you do." So all of a sudden, I'm having to go out into nature. I have to find my cave. You know, I have to go into the swamp and pick up some mud and do these kinds of things, you know, interact with nature. But I must say, what's really surprising me the most, actually, is how most of what Green Man has asked me to do is inner work. It's going inside of me here and doing a lot of this stuff, which is really, really surprising to me. So it's kind of like a green psychology, if you will. And for me to be sustainable is you need to do whatever you do holistically. If you're going to keep up and keep on, it's got to be mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. I have a green mentality, I think. It's just more excited about life, more inspired by life, more enthusiastic about life. And everything is opportunity, and everything is growable, you know, and so I have a sense of myself becoming younger, growing younger, and that to me is so totally exciting. And I know that I've been re-energized by this interaction with him tremendously. The one thing about nature is that nature does. Nature knows because nature does. Birds don't. Like a robin doesn't wake up in the morning and think, I wonder what I should do today, you know? Or should I be a robin, you know, or something like that. Nature knows what it is, knows why it is, and does it. I was very, very deliberate in this question. I said, well, this is great, you're helping me, no doubt. Can you, I asked him directly, can you help other people? And he said, no doubt. This is universal information for humankind. It could be for baby boomers and aging people, it could be for young people, it could be people during their midlife crisis, if you will. So it is universal. But psychologically, I still think I'm the same old me. And I still have the same old image of who I am. And if you're ever going to self-create, and it's all about constantly creating ourselves anew to sustain, we got to dump some of these old notions of who we are. And that's not easy to do. And get a different picture of yourself. Well, you've got to produce. One of the tenets of nature is production. Everything in nature does, and it produces, it creates. I think this is a lifelong endeavor because I want to live well and live long. And the Green Man, you know, the Green Man is one of these great archetypes, goes way back in time. I mean, all cultures have a spring god, a god of renewal, if you will. I mean, Osiris in ancient Egypt, the Green Man actually in Druid and Celtic cultures. Islam has the Green Man prophet. Even Jesus is a Green Man, because these are all gods who are dismembered, destroyed, and all come back out of the earth and are reborn. So this is kind of a rebirthing of myself and a rebirthing, I hope, of our culture, of our world, because in a way we're kind of getting old, dying on the vine, if you will. We're losing it. And so this Green Man wisdom is what this earth and what we people need.
Hear, hear.
Thank you.